You see that, guys? No, not the skateboard. The suitcase. It's time. I'm leaving. So this is going to be a raw walking and talking vlog to tell you the things that I like and dislike about Bangkok and my total experience of being here for 6 months. No cinematics, no music, maybe some overlaid clips, but just straight to the point. Yeah, so I'm leaving Thailand. I'm leaving Bangkok very, very soon. Actually, in just a few days from now of when I am filming this video. So this video will be out after I leave. But I wanted to talk about why I'm leaving Bangkok, why I'm leaving Thailand in full, and just my reflection on the past 6 months living here in Thailand, because I think I have some valuable information for others who might want to live here, who are coming here and deciding that they might want to move here. I think my experience can just give you some insight and help you decide whether or not you want to be here short-term, long-term, and so on. So first things first, why am I leaving Thailand? Why am I leaving Bangkok? The truth is, I've been here for about 6 months, and it's about the maximum time I can actually be here legally without having maybe a student visa, some business visa, and so on, right? I've been just being a tourist for a very long time, traveling around the country, making some videos here and there, and that's how I've been able to stay for a very long time. I've left the country a couple times to Vietnam, to Malaysia, and such, but now my time is maximized. I could actually get another visa, stay longer if I want to, but I kind of want to move on. That's what I'm feeling. And where am I going next? You will see in the next coming videos where I'll be. So before I talk about my reflection, you know, the 6 months living here, how I thought things went, and my overall thoughts on it, I just want to say I have nothing against Thailand. Thailand's a very fantastic country. I actually love it here, but with all good things there comes an end, you know? So seeing how I'm leaving and seeing how I'm giving a reflection on my time here in Bangkok, pretty much, not necessarily Thailand because I spent more time here in Bangkok than anything, I want to cover 6 main topics. Number 1, the weather has 2 sides. Number 2, pollution is serious and the traffic is even worse. Number 3, the contrast of pricing. Number 4, the amazing people. Number 5, the hospitable culture. And number 6, the fact that there is always something cool to do here in Bangkok. So as you can tell, I've listed the negatives first and the positives last, because it's always good to end on a good note. And so let's talk about the first 3 things that just aren't so great in my opinion, and I didn't like so much while living here in Bangkok. Welcome to the noisy streets of Bangkok. Well, I just stopped over here to get something to eat really quick, and I just wanted to say a couple things before we head on and walk away. So the first thing I want to talk about is the weather. Now the weather has been extremely hot recently. As of filming this, it is May. And when I first got here in November of last year, the weather was so good. From November to maybe February, the weather is very comfortable. It's not as hot. It's dry season, so it doesn't rain at all. But everything feels very good in terms of like the heat level, the humidity level, and stuff like that. You don't really get a good breeze, of course, because it's the city here. But the weather has been something that I just haven't liked so much. So recently, the temperature has been reaching up towards 38 and 39, and that's just the temperature. That's not the feels like. Feels like is like 44 or something, right? But these are with the heat waves. So usually, I think on average, the maximum temperature is around 35 or 36. But there's been some serious heat waves already that have been just drastically increasing the temperature, and man, is it uncomfortable. Ooh, every day you're just sweating, so you have to do a lot of things that involve the air conditioner, and that's what the people do here. So for me, I don't like to live my life in the air conditioner all the time, so it's not optimal. But from what I understand, if I was to be in a different part of Thailand, like the islands or something, at this time of the year, it'd be okay. It's easy to deal with because you have a breeze, you have a different change of weather, change of temperature. But here in the city, I don't know how people handle it. It's hard. Alright, the second point is kind of like a double, right? The pollution and the traffic, because they kind of go together. You know, obviously bigger cities around the world have pollution, obviously. But here in Southeast Asia, some of the biggest cities have the worst pollution, right? And a lot of that is caused by traffic and other things. Factories and whatever it be, burning season or burning crops. But the pollution here at times can be very rough. I don't know, some days you look up, the sky is blue and you're like, oh, it's not so bad, right? Other days it's very gray, there's no rain, and it's really crazy, right? But For me, I could be crazy, I don't know. I feel like the pollution sometimes gives me a headache. And maybe that's just a common symptom for people, I don't know what it is, but some days I just feel like I have this head block or a headache, and I feel like it's caused by the pollution and the intense heat. And that's one thing I don't like, right? It's not good to live in a place with pollution, at least long term, in my opinion. And I'm sure people will say, oh, the things you eat is just as bad, or da-da-da-da-da, but I don't know, I come from an area where there's not really pollution like that, so why force yourself to live in an area like that, right? If you don't have to. And so it's a reason why I don't really want to be in Bangkok long term. Also, the traffic. Taking a taxi, a Grab, sometimes it just takes forever to go places. Ordering it takes a long time, 20 minutes, 30 minutes waiting. It's a little bit inconvenient. I love the transportation here, the BTS, the MRT, the boats. Very, very efficient, very good, right? But at some times of the day, they're overcrowded, you know, when people are going to work, leaving work, and so on. But also a little bit expensive. I think I spend something like 400 baht or 500 baht a week on the public transportation when I'm out doing a lot of things, you know, making videos and whatnot. So it does get pricey, and I don't know if there's a yearly membership or not. If there is, maybe that would make it better, because in other cities around the world they have that. But here it seems like you just have to top up when you're out. Alright, and that leads into number 3, the last negative I have until we can turn this video around and talk about the positives. The number 3 is the expenses, the prices of things. Like I said, transportation can get a little bit expensive, but you are in a bigger city, so that's what happens, right? But other things like sort of food, right? You can find very good, very cheap food, which is awesome. Local food. You can find foreign food for a budget price sometimes. You can go to a restaurant that has fine dining and eat a, you know, $20 plate or something. So you have so many options of the pricing, right? And so depending on your budget, it's for everybody, really. You just have to pick and choose where you're going and where you're spending your money. Now, there are some expensive things here, though, such as drinking, partying. It's not cheap. You know, alcohol has definitely risen in pricing, or risen in expenses from what I've read online over the past years, right? It used to be much cheaper, even local drinks like the beers that are local to Thailand, and now they're just more and more and more expensive in every bar. Over my past, I don't know, 6 months being here, I have actually went to a couple bars where I paid like $15 for a cocktail or $8 for a beer, just one bottle of beer, and it's quite crazy, but that is the reality of living in a huge city. This is like a similar representation of New York City, but in Southeast Asia, you know? Prices will be expensive, and it kind of sucks sometimes that you have such contrasting prices. And lastly, the accommodation. Sometimes accommodation is very cheap, depending on maybe the influx of tourism, and then sometimes it's extremely expensive. For instance, my apartment is very affordable, I think $550 a month without utilities, with a pool, a gym, and everything. Perfect. Also in a good area. But then you can find condos here for $2,000, $3,000 a month that are up on the top of a building looking over the whole city. So pricing can be very different for many different things. Accommodation is one where you really need to like do your research and find exactly where it is you want to live to find the right price, because you can spend a whole lot more than you really want to. Alright, enough with the negatives now. Let's talk about the positives and what I think about Thailand and Bangkok after living here for 6 months and why I really like it. Alright guys, the first positive I have is the food. Oh my god, Thai food is incredible. I have spoken to people all over the world that have never even been to Thailand, and they always say that Thai food is one of their favorite cuisines. Whatever city they're in the world, they try to find Thai food. So yes, while I have been living here in Bangkok and have traveled around parts of Thailand, the food has been one of the most incredible parts of the journey. I mean, it is so tasty, made with so many ingredients. You can have spicy food, you can opt for not spicy, so like it's suitable to almost everybody's taste buds. You can have seafood, you can have just like regular meat, vegetarian options. The food is really, really incredible, and the people know how to cook. So you can find really nice Thai restaurants, you can find local street food almost everywhere. Almost on like every street there's street food, right? And it's readily available at a very, very affordable price. Now, maybe sometimes it's not the cleanest, but that's how it is when it's street food in a bigger city, right? But on top of that, you can find other food as well. Like foreign food that's just twisted with the Thai cuisine. And it's just so damn good. So even though I'm leaving Thailand, it's one of the things I'm going to miss. But the good news is I can always find Thai food pretty much all around the world. All right, now the fifth thing. The second to last positive thing I want to talk about is Thai people. That's right, Thai people. Let me get off this noisy bridge up here. The road is a little too noisy. Yes, so one of the other positive things I absolutely have loved during my time here in Thailand is the locals, the Thai people. Even some of the other people that have been living here for a very long time and aren't necessarily Thai, everyone's just super friendly. This is the land of smiles after all, so everyone has a positive personality. And that's what I really love about this place. The people are just very hospitable, very heartwarming, and you know, you never have like a really bad experience. I mean, my whole time being here in Thailand, I have always experienced the most friendliest people. I've never had a bad encounter, and it really shows. Like, especially when you're a new person here, you're a tourist, sometimes they go out of their way to help you. There was many times where I was standing at the bottom of the BTS, just kind of like looking at the map, just trying to plan out where I was going, and somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, do you need help? Where are you going?" And that happened a couple times on the transportation and some other places. So I just love how friendly the people are. They are definitely some of the most hospitable people in the world. You know, the best thing is that even some of the local people here, if you see them and it looks like maybe they are struggling in life, they're still very happy and they still help you and they still smile at you. So that's what I like. There's always happiness in the air everywhere here. All right, so the last point I want to touch on is fun. Yes, here in Thailand, there's just always something to do. There's so much fun. Whether you're in the city, whether you're traveling around the country, you know, there's always something to do. Especially here in Bangkok, from what I have noticed, you know, you can do a lot of things indoors because there's a lot of malls, a lot of air-conditioned zones. Like, you know, you can go to the movies, the arcades, restaurants, and shopping and all sorts of stuff like that, right? But then you have temples and sacred sites and partying and nightclubs and I mean, you name it, there's always something to do. Now, with that comes an expense usually, right? So you have to spend more money. And that's how it is when you live in a big city. Not everything can be free, so you end up spending more money to have more fun. And so during my 6 months here, I mean, every day there's something to do, right? As long as you want to take the time out of your day to travel around and spend the money, because let's face it, not everything is done in the same area, and sometimes you have to go all the way across the city to do something. Whether it's going to the other side of the river, going to Chinatown, going to Khao San Road. There's just so much to do here in Bangkok, and honestly, if you're here for 6 months and your plan is just to do a lot all the time, you might exhaust your activities very quickly. Like, I feel like I have done that, but there's still a lot more I can do and more money I would have to spend to do such things. But here in Bangkok, there is a lot to do and the party never stops. That's the truth. So my 6 months is up. My time here in Bangkok is done. I'm getting ready to leave. By the time you see this video, I will have already left the country, and yeah, I won't be here, but I'm definitely coming back to Thailand. Probably not relatively soon. I don't know when. Next time I come to Thailand, my goal is really to just explore the country, to diversify the locations, go to different areas, different parts, the coast, the mountains, the jungle, you know, all of those places, and only use Bangkok as like a transit city, because yeah, I think I've had my time here, and I can say I spent good quality time here, and you know, there was the ups and downs, but it was good while it lasted, and it's time to move on. So that is my 6 months here in Bangkok, from November-ish to about May, and I'm really glad I had the experience because it's been great, and also for the channel, you know, this is the birth of the channel, so Thailand will have a sentimental spot in my heart, of course, in terms of the channel and just my overall travel experience. So like I said, I'm definitely coming back for more, and it will be in different regions sometime. I don't know when, but I'll always come back, and maybe next time will be, I don't know, in a couple months, or maybe Songkran next year. Who knows? It could be any time, right? But I do want to say thank you to you guys all for coming along on this journey and supporting me, and giving me feedback and just being active on the channel. And it's been great. You can't build a channel without your audience. So so far I'm glad I've had this opportunity, and yeah, it's time to go. So if you're coming to Bangkok and you do want to stay here, possibly long-term or short-term, just do your research. I hope this video can give you some insight on what it's like to live here. Now obviously I wasn't here in the rainy season, so I don't got much information on that, but that is what it is. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'm gonna see you soon in the next video. Peace.